Hey everyone, happy Deathly Hallows Day. I'm finally here. I'm finally videotaping the last Harry Potter review. I can't believe it. I reread the Harry Potter series basically since January, I guess. Maybe even before, I don't remember. But this is the second read through physical copy, and I've read the audiobooks many times, but it was a wonderful journey. I enjoyed it so much better this read through than last read through. So we're finally here where we're reviewing the last Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows. I've basically been doing one a month for this entire year so far, and it's Deathly Hallows time. So I remember to wear my red for being a Gryffindor. I am a Gryffindor very proudly. So it's Gryffindor Day here in the channel. So hello and welcome to Gryffindorness. So let's talk about Deathly Hallows. Here's the beautiful cover that I did not bring out, but this is the cover that I own, and I love it so much. But let's talk through Deathly Hallows. I feel like some people have way more nostalgia glasses for Deathly Hallows than I do, because I did not read these when they were coming out. I grew up rather conservative, so we didn't read Harry Potter, do now, and so the first time I read them was in college, so after, I think even all the movies had been out, so like 2012. I don't know when the movies came out, to be honest, but I knew that at least some of the movies were out when I started reading. I did read them before I watched the movies. I had seen a couple of scenes from the movies, but I never really watched the movies. So yeah, let's talk about Deathly Hallows. So like I said, I'm not quite as nostalgic for Deathly Hallows, so it is not my favorite. I don't even know if it's top 3 really. It is a good book and I do love it, and it is special because it's the ending of this really good story. But it is definitely not my favorite. So just go into this knowing that's the case, of course. Beeping, sorry about that. The curse of being outside, but I have this cool background noise. I hope you like it. If it's annoying, I apologize. Alright, so Deathly Hallows, first the negatives. In Deathly Hallows, Ron splits from the group for a while, and it was shorter than I remembered, but it is really hard to read, because you love these kids so much, and before their little squabbles weren't that serious, but this time it is serious, and that's really hard to read. So just Ron splitting hit me harder this time than it did last time, which was sad, but it wasn't horrible, it was just kind of hard to read. The other part that was hard to read, obviously, is a lot of deaths and torture and just really hard topics in this in this book, which is really hard to read as well. So it's not really a happy read until the very end, but even then you're happy sad. So that makes it kind of hard to read. So that it wasn't a happy, fun reread, you know what I mean? So those are negatives. And then finally, not finally, the pacing is not as good as the other books. So y'all know that Half-Blood Prince is my favorite. The pacing is so good in Half-Blood Prince, and then Deathly Hallows comes along and it's not paced quite as well. Obviously the camping is very slow, the middle's very slow, the beginning's really good, and end's really good. But the middle is kind of slow and not well paced. And then the last one is kind of just me being funny. If y'all know, I hate Cursed Child. I haven't even read it, I just know the story and I hate it so much. So I don't like the epilogue to this book just simply because it leads off into Cursed Child. So that's my Cursed Child rant, which is probably not fair, but that's my Cursed Child rant. I don't like the epilogue because it leads into Cursed Child, and I hate almost everything in Cursed Child other than Harry's son being a Slytherin, which is special and cool, because Harry probably could have been a Slytherin and it would still be a really cool series. But yeah, I don't like Cursed Child, so that's probably my biggest negative, which is not really about this book, so. I probably will not be reading Cursed Child, just so you know. The only way I would watch it, like if it was an actual play, or if they did like a theatrical release, I would probably watch it. But I've heard that the play is really not well written either, so I don't think I need to. If you disagree, write in the comments why I should watch or read Cursed Child. I don't think I need to. I know the story, so it's like, eh. Alright, positives. I really enjoy Albus Dumbledore not being perfect and being revealed as not perfect, and you can really see his mistakes in this book. I do really, really like that. I think your mentors, you do look up to them, but you do need to realize your mentors aren't perfect, and that's a really important life lesson that I'm really glad that the characters learned in this book. I do think the action-packed parts are really exciting, and she's writing action better than she used to, so that's great. There's a lot of really great messages about love and sacrifice in this book, which is really special. Just like how much Ron grows to care for Hermione and how much he would sacrifice to save her is beautiful, and everyone else, obviously Harry Potter too. But I really noticed how much Ron wanted to rescue Hermione, and so that was really special, and other things. But yeah, the love and sacrifice in this book. And I love the theme of death not being the end, or death not being the worst thing ever. Like, there are worse things than death. For example, like selling your soul is way worse than just dying. Those kinds of themes, and it's a very Christian theme, which is why I love it so much. Y'all know that I'm a Christian, and it's just very special to me that J.K. Rowling was courageous enough to have that a theme in her book, because it's not really well taken in the world right now that death is not the worst thing. There's worse things than death, and I truly believe that. That being horrible and hating is so much worse than death. Being separated from God is worse than death. So, and then also just attached to that being evil in general brings a miserable life, just naturally. So, just the theme of Voldemort, like, he almost punishes himself or defeats himself because the life that he's chosen does not pay out, is basically the themes there, and I really appreciate those kinds of themes. And then finally, just Ron's growth, and I kind of touched on this already. He started very selfish, and obviously Horcrux stuff that we don't have to get into, that he was very much self-centered, and then towards the end of the book, he is willing to sacrifice anything to get the job done, and anything for Hermione. So it's just a lovely love story. I really enjoy it. I'm not a Hermione kind of girl. I'm a Ron Hermione kind of girl. The only other thing I will say is I keep on forgetting that Neville and Luna is a movie thing, not a book thing, and I hate that. I didn't put it in my negatives, and I should have. I think Neville and Luna would be perfect together. So that one I forgot to put in the negatives, but that's just a random aside. It's kind of a funny one. It's not really a negative. But yeah, I think that's all as far as I can remember. Tell me in the comments how you like this book. And also tell me in the comments, would you like me to re-rank and talk about how my ranking's different? Because I do think it changed this read through. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for coming along on this Harry Potter journey. Go Gryffindors. And I will see you next time.